Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Hair Gaming. We're here with another video covering our favorite game, Last War. So today I've got a very fun feature to talk about. One that I have been trying to figure out how it worked over the past couple of days, along with one of my alliance mates, Serious AA, who I want to give a shout out to, because it was his effort to figure out how it worked that managed to crack the code, so to speak. And now we're able to make some cool moves and take advantage of the other features that are in the season. One, to have some more fun, but two, to get some cool loot for our alliance mates. And the feature that I want to talk about is the supply collection feature. So what is this? I'm just going to break it down. I'll just read the info tab here for you. So when the season starts, hidden resources will spawn near cities. And cities being the operative word, as far as I can tell, these do not show up near strongholds. So once the land's temperature reaches 0 degrees or above, hidden resources will then become visible. You can raise the temperature by using your profession skills, by using the alliance furnace, and by using the temperature increase granted by capturing a city. In my experience, you're going to need at least 2 of these things in order to get the temperature above 0 degrees Celsius. One of them by themselves is not enough. So 4, once the ice melts or is broken, that's going to be for the treasure. Then you can deploy your recon planes to gather the rewards. And for each person, you can collect up to 5 resources per day. And then each resource, that's going to be the package of resources, can only be claimed once per person. And any collected resources that the Alliance has found will be shown on this page here. And just as to show it again, that's going to be, you're going to hit the Season 2 button on the right-hand corner, and then it's Supply Collection that you want to hit, and that'll show you any resources that are still available. Or that have been claimed by your Alliance or found by your Alliance recently. Before we get into it, I always want to add in, because YouTube keeps telling me to do it, that if the video helps you out, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, as all that stuff does help out the channel. And I also want to mention that we do have channel memberships available right now. So if you want to support the channel, if I've been particularly helpful to you over the past months or weeks or whatever, and you just want to give a little kickback to help support us, and by us I mean me, but to help support, then feel free to join as the channel membership. You do get some neat little stuff, but you can hit the join button down below the video to check that out. But let's get back into it. So how does this actually work? So when I was trying it out, I was trying to use the firebomb skill to increase part of the area, but there's a chance that you won't find any loot in that area. So what you want to do is either coordinate with your alliance mates. There is a firebomb strategy where you just kind of go in like a lattice or a matrix. Matrix is a better word. Use like a matrix of fire bombs and then just spread up and down the area to try to search that way. That is totally a way you could do it. I don't like doing that because what if I need my firebomb soon? I think the cooldown is 2 days or something like that. I can't remember. It's a cooldown of a day. Okay. Which isn't too bad, but I'm what if I need my firebomb soon? I don't like doing it that way. The other alternative strategy that you have is to move your alliance furnace about throughout the different city cells that you have. And just to normalize our verbiage here, a cell is going to be referred to as just one of these squares, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, the radius of your alliance furnace and how it takes effect is roughly a full quadrant of one of these cells. So you can do a full sweep of each cell by moving your alliance furnace about 4 times to clear the area to check for loot. So how do you know when the temperature is enough? So when you click a area within any of the terrain, it'll tell you what that temperature is. If I click over here, you can see it's -1.5 degrees Celsius. If I click over here, it's -30. So the ways that you can heat the area are going to be through the city. Each city's buff regardless of where it is relative to the center, will heat the area enough so that it raises the temperature to minus 10 degrees Celsius. So you're going to need two means of heat in order to get it above that 0 degrees threshold. You can achieve this by basically having a city somewhere that's active and then using your alliance furnace and boosting it with the overdrive. That should give you enough. Or I would wager if you get above level 14, probably actually level 15, because ours is level 12, and currently we get an 8.5 degree boost. So one more at 13 would be 9 degrees, another one would be 14, and then 15 will give you a 10 degree buff to break that difference, so that way you wouldn't have to overdrive. But you only need to overdrive for a moment for it to show up on the map, but just to be clear. But you hit it into overdrive, and then that will reveal any treasure within that quadrant that you can then go and take. When you first spawn the treasure, it will be encased in ice, and you will have to either wait the 5 minutes while your overdrive is on to thaw out that ice, or you can just send some of your troops over to break the ice along with your alliance mates. It does take a couple of hits, so you will have to wait a moment, or just keep blasting it yourself, whichever. But yeah, so once you do that, then you can send your recon plane over, and when you send your recon plane in, it's going to give you a breakdown of who's going to get what based off of when the plane arrives. So the first person, as far as I can tell, the first person usually always gets some good loot, and they'll get 2,500 alliance points, 2 exclusive weapon shards, some coal, and some titanium alloy. The regular one that you can get will grant you a universal hero shard, 500 alliance points, some coal, and some level tide coin chests. Hey there, folks. Big Hair Gaming from the future here. I wanted to jump into this video just to share some thoughts that have developed over time. This is about a week or so after I recorded a lot of the initial stuff that's in this video. And since then, I've learned some new stuff, and some of my opinions have shifted just so slightly. So one, it appears that the location of treasure is uniform across multiple war zones. I can't say that I've tested this completely, because obviously I haven't dug up every single treasure and then tested across every single war zone. But it does appear that if you find treasure at certain coordinates, that if you go to those coordinates, if you zoom in down here, it'll give you the XY coordinates of that particular spot. If you go to those coordinates onto another war zone, it does seem that provided that that treasure has not already been found, that you can find treasure in that spot. So that does give extra utility to the firebomb, which means that you don't have to create a matrix of firebombs as a means of searching for treasure. You can still do that, although it's a lot more complicated, but instead you, as a single entity, will be able to find treasure if you know where to look, provided that you do have your firebomb skill off of cooldown. So that's one thing that I wanted to share. Just to be clear, because that's actually pretty huge, and we have had people from other servers who have found treasure come to our servers and to our land and throw down a firebomb with seemingly knowing exactly where it is, and we found that this is the reason why. So I can't say that it's like that for every single treasure cache, but at the very least we have seen it happen a number of times. So I'm willing to bet that, if you try this after finding treasure, if you find some and it's, at let's see, X466, Y551. If you go to another server and you throw a firebomb down there, you'll probably find treasure too. So make note of where you do see treasures, even if you're not the one who finds them, because you can likely jump to other servers and grab those treasures if they have not already been found. But yeah, let's jump on back into the original video. And that's the stuff that you can get there. Now, the last two things that you want to make sure that you're aware of are when a blizzard is coming and when the giant beast is going to attack your alliance furnace. So the blizzard will give you a heads up of when it's going to approach, and it'll tell you usually what the temperature drop is going to be. And this one's going to be, it's going to drop by minus 45 degrees, or it's going to drop to minus 45 degrees. I think it's going to be I think it's that it drops by that amount. So for example, right here where it's minus 40, it'll drop by an additional 45 degrees during the blizzard, I believe is how it works. But you want to make sure that you have your alliance furnace wherever you actually need it to be rather than looking for treasure, because you want to make sure that your alliance mates will get the rewards for having the furnace on and active during the whole time of the cold wave, but also you do get loot individually if you do not get frozen during the cold wave. So usually the way to accomplish that is to make sure that you probably have your furnace on overdrive as well as the alliance furnace also on overdrive during that duration. So make sure that your folks are donating coal to the alliance. You can see I've already hit my limit for the day, but make sure your alliance folks are donating coal so that you can survive that blizzard. The second thing that you want to be aware of is when that beast crisis is coming. So this will give you the countdown to when the beast will start to gather to attack. And this basically gives you when the attack initiates. So you can move your alliance furnace like during this period for free without really worrying about anything. But once this countdown reaches 0, then the attack doesn't begin yet, but the countdown, the final countdown will begin. And if you move your alliance furnace during that final countdown, you will automatically forfeit the challenge and you'll lose outright. So you want to make sure that your alliance furnace is wherever you intend it to be ahead of time, especially if the beast crisis and the blizzard happen to overlap. It doesn't always happen, but I think we've had a few times where you're already in the blizzard and you can't really move it because you're doing stuff, and then the beast attack will follow. I can't remember how long the blizzard lasts for, but I think that they might sync up that way, but I'm not totally certain. If you're certain and you're in the comments, feel free to drop a comment down below just to let everybody know if these two things do overlap on purpose all the time or if it's just a sometimes thing. But yeah, I think that's all the major stuff. Make sure you're moving this around a whole bunch. Oh, the last bit, there is one more thing. There is a finite amount of supplies that are in each war zone. They do give you a breakdown per level of the area. So this is per level of the city, how much stuff is left around. There's a couple of stuff in the level 7 range, and you get more treasure as you go further down. Now, the last thing that I do want to mention that I had almost forgotten is that you are not restricted to your war zone for collecting treasure. I'm going to say it again because it's important, because I know I'm going to get a comment about it. You are not restricted to your war zone for collecting treasure, meaning that you can jump into other war zones when you see an alliance hunting for treasure, and if there's still treasure left, you can jump onto that server, quickly send out your recon plane, grab some treasure, and then jump back to your server. That is totally a thing that you can do. We have had a couple of folks jump in from another server, grab some of our treasure, and then dip back out. So that can happen, and it does happen. So just be aware that that is an option that you have available. After week 3, the cross server jumping does become available to you. So you can go to this page on the season 2 page, and then go to the grouping page, and you'll be able to jump to other servers to basically teleport for free. So this is really useful when you're moving your alliance furnace around, but it's also really useful to try and like scope out and see who else is hunting for treasure and see if you can grab some. So yeah, that'll bring this video to a close. If this video was helpful to you, if you learned something new, if you didn't know about the scattered supplies at all, like definitely do drop a comment, drop a like for the video, because this is, I think, a fun extra thing that Season 2 offers that I'm really enjoying exploring mechanically. And also I feel like it wasn't necessarily super intuitive in terms of where the treasure was expected to be. And unless you get lucky when you drop your first firebomb and then you find the treasure, and then it is confirmed for you how that mechanic works, I feel like it's just not quite intuitive enough. So maybe like adding a little video along with it to really clarify what you're intended to do would be helpful. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.